Blunt,
So they get
Tolbert, Buck Allen, all the bastards of the NFL.
I know. They're just thieves, man.
Numbers, math.
Numbers.
No, it's because Julio's a jack.
He's a jack. So also,
He's a bastard of the NFL.
He's not. I love Julio. Stick him in, get it going. It's amazing.
That was a weird, back in that sentence. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Best Fantasy Football Podcast. Please do enjoy and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Best Fantasy Football Podcast. Without any further ado, let's get to it. How do you pay for those bills, those fines?
Straight cash, homie.
With a mouthful of gushers. Hello and welcome to the Best Fantasy Football Podcast, episode 13. We are just hammering away, catching shade on Instagram from people already, but
yeah,
I don't know.
One person.
I feel like we did awesome this last weekend. I feel like couldn't have gone better. Just everybody we said was going to do well did well.
It was a great week.
Robby Anderson, number one receiver, I think.
Overall, I don't think he did the best. No,
he hit 123 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but he had only 3 catches.
I don't know. I can't remember. While I was at the Chiefs game on the big screen, he was the top receiver.
He was a monster. It was
no one else
amazing.
told you to take him, just this guy. And then this guy over here told you to take Christian Kirk, and he caught a 75-yard bomb as well. So
yeah, he also had 3 catches.
Doesn't matter.
But still,
cheap guys getting massive.
Amazing. Yeah, Robby Anderson ended up with 30 fantasy points, but I think there's a few guys during the week that had.
I can't remember. Nobody really blew anything away.
Odell had more than him.
Oh, he threw a touchdown.
Throwing a touchdown. He had over 100 yards, and I think
that's right.
Let me see. I know Connors did as a running back. He had
31.
No, he had more than that.
Odell had 35.4.
Connors had 37.5.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Devontae Adams also had 32, but still, for a guy that's 3,900, you cannot.
That nobody else was thinking about taking.
He was less than 1% owned in the Millionaire Maker for DraftKings.
If you listen to this and you pulled the trigger, you are welcome.
Oh, well, shout out to my boy Ed. He actually did that and did it on 2 of them. So good job, Ed. Way to go, bud.
Way to go, Ed.
Way to go, bud.
The powerful Ed. All right, let's hop into some injuries.
Injuries and updates already?
That's what we do to start it out.
Let's go. Okay, do it.
Let's see. Devonta Freeman.
That guy will never come back.
Unlikely to play week 6. That is some good news concerning a couple people, actually. We'll get into that later, but I think it actually helps their offense. They seem to be much better without him.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but whatever. Leonard Fournette could possibly be out till week 10 after their bye week. Jai out for the season, your boy, your broken back boy.
Back. Now he's got more issues. It's more than just a broken back now.
And Darren Sproles is already announced he is out week 6 as well. Dalvin Cook was limited Wednesday, but he was a full participant today.
Yes.
So he should be good to go against the worst rushing defense in the league.
That is correct.
Might want to fire him up this weekend. Brandon Cooks and Cooper Kupp were both cleared for Wednesday's walkthrough, so they should be good to go this weekend. Ebron missed practice Wednesday and Thursday, but they believe he's just getting some rest time. He's got if you look at the injury reports, I think it's shin, knee, shoulder, ankle, it's everything.
His whole leg has got issues. Hamstring,
but he
ankle,
should
calf,
he should be playing.
Big toe. The whole leg is messed up. Dude.
Tell me where it hurts. He just mimics this area, and the guy writes down everything. Tibia, fibia. Cartilage, meniscus.
Hurts everywhere, Doc. Hurts everywhere.
Oh, Ebron, you fool. Jack Doyle, T.Y. Hilton already not playing week 6. Sonny Michel was limited on Wednesday. I'm not sure how he progressed Thursday's practice, though.
It has no update.
No updates on that yet. This is going to air Saturday, so you should have an update on him. If you haven't looked and you have Sonny Michel in your, on your team, go ahead and look at that. Make sure he's playing.
Yep.
O.J. Howard was expected to miss 2 to 4 weeks, but he was actually limited in practice on Wednesday, and I believe he's limited on Thursday as well. So need to look out for that in case you went and picked up Cameron Brate.
I still don't think O.J. Howard plays.
He shouldn't be, but they said he might make an appearance, but who knows? It's just going to mess everything up for everybody.
Yeah, he's not going to play.
Greg Olsen making a surprise comeback. Yeah, he expected to play. Full participant Thursday, and he should be playing this weekend.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Let's
is
that
he
for
going to
updates.
get through a quarter?
Who knows, man?
That's the question.
He's going to get 4 catches for 40 yards. People are like, oh my God, and then broken other foot.
And out for the season. What the hell just
Deshaun
happened?
Watson limited Wednesday and Thursday with a chest injury. Like I said, this is going to air Saturday, so if you have him in your lineups, go check and make sure he is playing.
And we'll give you updates, by the way, on
we'll
Instagram,
retweet some stuff, boys.
Absolutely.
Isaiah Crowell, here's a potential big one. Did not practice Wednesday or Thursday, so if he is out, Bilal Powell could be a machine.
Yes.
Because they run the ball a lot, and if it's just him in the backfield, it could be crazy. Randall Cobb, Geronimo Allison did not practice on Wednesday, but they returned to practice on Thursday. They both cleared concussion protocol. Well, they didn't. Geronimo Allison cleared concussion protocol, but he was out of Wednesday's practice with a hamstring issue. But they should be good to go this weekend. Matt Breida, Pierre Garçon, George Kittle all missed practice on Thursday.
Breida, they said was walking without a limp, but I don't see how
he had a
plays.
Shoulder issue.
Last
time I heard.
I don't know what the report was, but it came out. He said he's doubtful, and then Kyle Shanahan basically said that he would not practice.
They have not ruled him out,
but have not ruled him out from Monday Night Football yet. But yeah, I don't understand what's going on with him. So
who knows? It might boost up Alfred Morris to be a viable play just based on volume alone. Yep. That same team, Marquise Goodwin, he's back to practice fully. We don't know what he's going to do with Beathard, but that's something to keep an eye out on. And also, Gio is most likely going to be inactive for week 6.
Yes.
So load up on your Joe Mixons. He's going to get plenty of volume.
Joe Mixon. Love Joe Mixon.
And update.
Update.
Bills are looking to trade LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah, to the Phillies. Nah, it's not happening.
No, maybe not to the Eagles, but they want to. I feel like they want to trade him.
They're saying. You know who else is frustrated? Who's not as big a name, but Duke Johnson is frustrated in Cleveland.
I would be. The dude was a stud last year.
He's getting. Philadelphia should go for that. You know who should pick him up or who should trade for him is Indianapolis Colts. They need a running back. They have no. They already have
Naheem Hines.
They don't have a running game. He's a receiver.
Oh, you talking about Sean?
I'm saying I thought you were talking
about Duke Johnson. I was like, they don't need Duke Johnson.
McCoy.
Well,
Colts
they have Marlon Mack. They're waiting for him to come back.
Okay, well,
Mack attack, Mack attack.
When Mack attack comes back is the last time I'll ever listen to an freaking player. I'll tell you what. But Britta, he is, I believe, mid ankle sprain is what he had. So it was an ankle. That's why they were talking about limping or not limping. So
fair enough.
Just FYI.
Questions. I got questions for you.
Ooh.
I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Yes.
And then I want you to answer, and then I want you to guess what I answered.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Will the Rams lose to Denver this weekend? Wait, let me give you a little bit of facts to try to sway you a little bit. The Broncos are 12-2 at home against NFC teams because they typically only have to
what's that word?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure. They typically only have to deal with the mile-high altitude once every 8 years, the NFC teams.
That's okay.
So, what do you think?
I think the Rams absolutely blow them out.
You think they blow them
out? Look, so we're talking. I mean, just looking at what happened last week, the Jets ran all over Denver. Todd Gurley is 10 times better than Isaiah Crowell.
10 times
combined.
All right.
He's better than both those guys combined.
Fair enough.
He's 10,000 on DraftKings.
Yep.
I mean, that is, I've never seen anybody 10K.
Oh yeah, they make him 10K.
Not anymore.
But not this year.
No.
His first time. But people are projecting him at like 166 total yards and 2 touchdowns.
I mean,
is what Yahoo has him at.
I mean, it's absolutely insane.
All right, what did I say?
Oh well, you probably said I'm gonna go with Denver, but that's a big mistake there. They're 7-point underdogs. Too.
I wrote the Rams will win, and Denver just gave up 500 plus yards to the New York Jets.
Yeah, they're 7-point favorite. Rams are 7-point favorites. So
I know. It's just 12-2 at home against NFC teams.
It doesn't matter.
All right, next question. Will the Chiefs lose? Going against Patriots, Andy Reid has won 2 straight regular season games against the Pats. What do you think?
Look, I love the Chiefs because that's the home team, but I think they lose.
You think they lose?
I think New England loses.
You think New England loses?
No, I think New England beats the Chiefs.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I think Tom Brady will dink and dunk for 4 yards a play until the first half runs out because he's going to own the ball the whole first quarter. And Mahomes won't get that much action. And then when he does, he's going to try to press it, I think, because they're going to be down. That's my opinion. Look, I hope it's the other way. I hope Chiefs put up 54 points on them. And Houston's out now. Houston's not playing for us. That's another defensive guy that's out. And then we also have, don't we have a guard? I thought we had a guard that's also out. One of our guards got injured. But anyways, yeah, I New England wins close game though. Close game.
All right, fair enough.
You said the Chiefs win.
No, I said the Pats win at home. The Chiefs would have won if it was at Arrowhead.
Oh, look at that! You go with the Pats as well. We hate the Pats, by the way. Just so you know, we don't like the Pats.
All right, here's a good one.
Do it.
Which NFC East team will limp into the playoffs? Because one of them has to, by the rules of the NFL. All 4 teams lost last week. That can't happen again because the Eagles actually play the Giants. So Redskins, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants.
What team out of the NFC East
will limp into the playoffs because they're all horrible?
Yes, they are.
Redskins, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants.
Okay, Redskins, I don't think
they're 2-2.
Cowboys, I don't see. Although I do like their defense this year a lot more. Dude, I'm going to go Giants. I'm going to go one in last place. I'm going to go in last place.
Enough.
I think the Giants, unless the Eagles get LaShawn McCoy, if the Eagles get LaShawn McCoy, the Eagles will win it.
All right.
If the Eagles don't get LaShawn McCoy, Giants win.
Fair enough.
Tonight, by the way, today's game, which is Thursday, which this day or Saturday.
Which we're never supposed to mention ever again.
Just so you know, if that happens, then if Giants lose today, then I'll switch my pick to Philadelphia. No, I'm sticking with the Giants. I like the Giants.
Fair enough.
And I like them to win tonight, by the way.
What did I put?
At home versus Philadelphia. You put Philadelphia Eagles.
I did. Yeah. Dang, you got it. Nice. How many total yards? How many total yards will the Dallas Cowboys have against Jacksonville?
Total yards. That's passing and?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Hold on. So I think Zeke. Ooh.
Dallas does not have a number one receiver.
348.
348 total yards.
Total yards.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
What did you say?
I put under 250.
Under 250?
Total yards.
So you think that Dak will pass for like 150 and then Zeke will not get 100 yards rushing?
I don't think Zeke gets 100 yards rushing.
Or anybody else that runs the ball?
Nope.
250.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how little that is total yards?
Just wait for it.
Against Jacksonville.
Just wait.
Hold on. What did we put on him?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
We're the best.
Okay.
How many sacks will J.J. Watt have? Josh Allen has been sacked a league high 19 times, and J.J. is tied for the league sack lead at 6.
Yeah.
But that's only with the last 3 weeks. He's had 6 sacks in the last 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. But Jameson Crowder is also there. That helps J.J. Watt so much because they can't double him, and if they do, then Jadameon Clowney will just freaking explode. That guy's a monster.
That would be odd if he just spontaneously combusts.
That would be the coolest thing.
Then he will get a sack because Josh Allen will be staring off the side like, what the hell? And boom.
I'm going to say he's going to have, I'm going to say 2.5 sacks.
All right, what did I say?
I think you said 3.
2.5, man.
How are we thinking the same?
That's weird.
Scary situation.
That is weird.
Scary situation.
We're only off by 100 with the Dallas Cowboys.
That's quite a bit of yards.
Last question.
Yes.
Will Marshawn Lynch get his revenge?
No. I don't think
so. You just think he has? What do you think? He has an underperforming game, average, or?
I think they're gonna try to feed him early, and just because he's playing Seattle again. But I think with him, again, he was limited in practice with a shoulder issue.
He's been like that all season.
I know, and hip. And hip because he needs a hip replacement because he's old.
He's an old guy.
Before. But I think he gets in the end zone, but he does not go over 100 yards. So I can see him like 60 yards in a touchdown, which is whatever.
Respectable.
Yeah. Nothing great, though.
Yeah, I said he was going to have an average game as well.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Just an average game.
What's an average game mean?
12 points PPR. He's had 11 PPR points on 10 of the last 13 games.
Okay.
So, and it's in London. If it was at Oakland, maybe.
If it was at Seattle, I think he has a
You think he'd do a little more?
I think he just gets all the Skittles that they're in Seattle, shoves them all in his mouth, and just goes crazy.
Oh, God. All right, that's all I got.
By the way, quick question on that game. Why is that game still at noon?
Oh, I don't know.
Because most London games are early.
Yeah,
right?
my dad said that. He was like, well, that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
It's normally something crazy.
Usually it's like 9 a.m. It's a London game, and then kicks off, and then you got normal football. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand what happened. So.
Probably money. Somehow money's involved.
I don't know. But, I mean, now you're competing with other games, though. When you're in London and you want to be prime time, don't you want to be the only game
I'm sure they paid a company $50 million to figure out when the best time was to air that, and they go, aired at noon.
Throwing it out there. So what do we got? Do you want to do Lock It Up, or do you want to do Lock It Up last? I love Lock It Up.
We got to do Lock It Up first.
Lock it up right now?
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
I don't have one special. Yeah.
What do you mean you don't have a special? What the hell does that mean? You don't have a special.
There we go. I found it.
Okay, you got it?
I put it on a separate piece of paper last time.
I'll let you choose one of your 19 receivers that you want to lock it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Go ahead. Lock it up. You lock it up.
I don't know which one to pick.
You don't know. You want me...
I don't know which one to pick for my Lock It Up.
Oh, you got to... Come on. Pick one.
All right.
How about this? You can have two, because I took two. By the way, last week, all three... we like David Johnson over 20 points. Yeldon and Mixon, all three were over 20 points PPR wise. So just FYI, that was our three Lock It Ups last week. So
okay, I'll go with my first Lock It Up, Emmanuel Sanders. I think he is going to be great. They're going against LA.
I hope you could think he's great. You just told me to lock it up.
Going against LA.
Yeah.
So LA is going to score. You already said that they're going to go bananas. So Denver's got to throw the ball.
Okay.
In the past 3 games, 6 receivers have either scored or gained at least 100 total yards, scored a touchdown, or gained at least 100 total yards. Sanders has scored at least 10 PPR points in every game this season, with at least 3 of them being 16 points. And the Broncos are going to be chasing points the entire game. The Broncos are going to be chasing, coming from behind. You should see another huge amount of targets, huge volume, and this could even cross over to Demaryius Thomas. That's how good this Lock It Up is. It might even splash a little bit onto Demaryius Thomas.
So hold on. Before you go, you don't think game flow for them will be to run the ball?
Not even out of the first gate, it'll be 7-0 within 2 minutes, and then
so like if Denver gets
they'll do their running thing, and then LA will get the ball back 14-0 with like 10 minutes left in the first quarter.
Oh my God! You think so? You don't think that?
I don't think they have a chance.
I like Emmanuel Sanders, but I don't know if I like it up because I think the situational.
It's a Lock It Up, man.
It's running because look at what Carson and what's his name, Mike Davis did to the Rams last week. They ran the crap out of the ball on them. They destroyed them on the ground.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, all right, and they kept
no. They're destroying them over in the air.
No, Seattle. What are you talking? Russell Wilson had a horrible game.
He threw 3 touchdowns.
But that's great that he threw 3 touchdowns. But he threw
it doesn't matter.
190 passing yards.
It doesn't matter.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
They'll be behind the entire game.
Okay, I like Sanders, but not as a Lock It Up. But
okay. He's a Lock It Up for sure. Demaryius Thomas. He's going to see a lot of Marcus Peters. Normally, you'd be afraid of the Marcus Peters, but Marcus Peters' coverage stats without Aqib Talib the last 3 weeks: 17 targets, 14 catches, 255 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Big numbers.
He's getting blown apart.
I don't like your Lock It Up.
So you want to run it against a team that's getting destroyed through the air.
Okay. So Russell Wilson. Last week against this horrible pass defense.
It's Russell Wilson.
Threw for 13 completions and 198 passing yards. 198
13
yards.
completion. 13. That's
13
it.
completions.
That's it. That's all they needed.
You know why? Because they ran the ball, and they ran it down their throats and like, oh crap, let's throw it deep.
That's fine.
And Lockett gets open for a 60-yard TD. That could be Emmanuel Sanders, though. I mean, Lockett could be Emmanuel Sanders.
I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
They're going to destroy him.
Look, you know what? I hope you're right.
Minnesota.
I'm cheering for you. It's a lot.
Thielen, also slot receiver like Emmanuel Sanders, 8 catches, 135 yards, and a touchdown.
Okay. But that's Thielen. He's done every week.
This is Emmanuel Sanders. He has over 10 PPR points every game. He'll be fine.
Let's go with yours. Let's go.
He'll be fine.
I hope you're right.
Emmanuel Sanders will be the man.
I hope you're
right. He will be the Emmanuel. He'll put the man back in Emmanuel.
I hope you're correct, sir.
He's going to be awesome. Just don't even think twice about it. He's a Lock It Up.
Just lock it up. Don't think twice. But
he is a Lock It Up.
Because if you do think about it, you will not lock it up.
You will lock. Don't think twice. Just lock it up.
It.
Robby Anderson, just put it in there.
Robby, okay.
Another Lock It Up.
today?
Are you ready? Right now.
Oh, okay, right now. Okay. I thought you were going to say Robby Anderson is your next little.
No. Chester Rogers.
Chester Rogers. Okay. I do like Chester Rogers.
He's going to be money. In the past 2 games without T.Y. Hilton, Rogers has 22 targets.
Yeah.
16 catches, 151 yards. He's yet to find the end zone, but he's averaging 16 PPR points. I think it's like $4,500.
Yeah, he's super cheap.
Super cheap. Averaging 16 PPR points without scoring.
Him and Grant. He's 45 and Grant is 46.
Go with Chester Rogers. He's a surefire lock this week. The Jets are ranked 29th against wide receivers. He runs 95% of his routes in the slot. He's going to go up against Perry Nickerson and Buster Screen if Screen can even make it on the field. They're allowing the 3rd most points to slot wide receivers. He's going to get plenty of volume with no baby hands and no T.Y. Hilton. He's easily going to have 8 catches, 80 yards, and at least 1, or break his 100 yards. I think he's definitely. Oh, and a little side note on him. He was the one.
That dropped
Chester Rogers was the one.
He dropped like a 40-yard pass, just hit him in the hands and dropped.
That's okay.
I'm saying he could have had a bigger game last week. I like Chester Rogers.
Chester was the wide receiver that was working with Andrew Luck when he was in rehab.
Okay, I'm on board with Chester Rogers, by the way.
And Emmanuel Sanders, lock them both in. I got 2 more, but
I'm
go.
Back up. But just on a side note, also, just kind of backing up on your last one. Phillip Rivers played the Rams the week before that, and he had a season low 17 fantasy points against the Rams. That's
fine.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I'm not saying to take Case Keenum. I'm saying to take the slot wide receiver that is going against the Rams. It's simple. Slot wide receiver against the Rams.
I love it. Go ahead. Keep going on your wide receivers. Finish it up.
No, it's too many. I'll get into that when we get to the
wide receiver
daily. You just do your lock.
Okay, so
your pretend lock. I'm gonna rip him apart. I wrote down a whole bunch of negative things on him.
No. Okay, so I like Monday Night but I'm gonna do a Sunday lock, which is Chris Carson. We just talked about him, how he ran
Chrissy Krause
down the Rams' throat. Rams supposed to have a pretty good defensive line, but they've been allowing...
well, yeah. Side note on your Seattle Seahawks running the ball.
Do it. Yeah, what is it?
They're running the ball more than anybody else in the league.
Yeah, because they have to, because they can't throw.
So you're proving my point. So a team that can throw the ball...
But what... So you're
Demaryius Thomas...
So you're saying San Diego Chargers cannot throw the ball? Oh,
they don't have to.
Los Angeles Chargers cannot throw the ball.
The Clippers don't have to.
Okay, well, the Clippers apparently... I'm just saying...
They have Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler.
Phillip Rivers' worst game of the season against them. Okay. But anyways, that
Keep
was
going. Chris
when
Carson.
Talib and Marcus Peters.
They were both in there.
So
yeah. So now without...
Maybe you're right.
Just lock in Emmanuel Sanders. Don't even think twice about it.
Don't lock in.
You're blowing it, man. You're ruining it for these listeners. No, they're going to be having their fingers going to be hovering over the space bar. They're like, should I click on Emmanuel Sanders? They're not going to do it, and he's going to blow up.
Next week, all I'm going to get is hate mail because Emmanuel Sanders goes for like 10 for 150 and 2 TDs. But
I don't know if he'll do that.
But anyways, so Carson's 19 rushes, 119 yards. The week before that, also 100 yards. He did not get it.
Back 100-yard rushing games.
Well, he missed week 4. He missed 1
back
week,
to
so
back
for him, yes. But look, Mike Davis is just a thief, and he steals touchdowns just like Blunt does to Kerryon Johnson.
Blunt,
so they get
Tolbert, Buck Allen, all the bastards of the NFL.
I know. They're just thieves, man. So yeah, they get close to the goal line.
They should start a club.
They get to Davis because he's a bigger guy.
They should literally start a club called the Bastards of the NFL.
The Bastards of the NFL. I like it. That should be a segment.
Yeah. And this week's Bastard of the NFL. Yes, we'll do it. We'll do it. I'll pay attention and figure one out.
So 19 carries, 116 yards. He's running the ball so well. He didn't see the end zone.
He's averaging 6.1 yards a carry.
He is killing it. He's only 4,400, and he is going to have a monster week
over in London,
Oakland. So projection for him is he's again going to go over 100 yards. I think he does find the end zone. For 4,400, I think he gets you over 20 points, which for 4,400 I think is phenomenal. I don't know if there's a chance that he gets 100 yards, but then he doesn't see the end zone. Is that really worth it? Because that's only 13 points, and if he doesn't have any catches. But I think that he will find the end zone and he will get over 100 yards. He did catch one ball, but he doesn't catch a lot of balls out of the backfield, which is surprising to me with Russell Wilson because he doesn't throw deep.
Their whole offensive script this year has been so weird.
Got one reception for 1 yard.
Yeah, and Russell Wilson, I believe, has 46 rushing yards on the entire season.
That is crazy.
He was averaging that a game last year.
I don't know what's going on with that team. So
they're just so bizarre.
They are a bizarre team.
But yeah,
so
Chris Carson, I like your lock it up.
Chris Carson, lock it up.
Raiders defense is allowing the 5th most rushing yards and 4.9 yards a carry. And plus, there's some rain expected in London, so that might lend itself to a little more run-heavy game. Oakland has allowed the running back to score and or gain 100 total yards 4 out of the 5 games, with 6 total running backs doing it.
That's insane.
In 5 weeks.
5
so,
weeks. But again, that touchdown
should be fine.
It could be Davis. Davis could steal it. He could be the thief, man. But
the bastard.
Chris Carson has proven
the
himself.
Bastard of the North.
The bastard.
The bastard of the NFL.
So I see him getting 20 carries. I think Seattle knows that they can't throw the ball, so I think they're just so run heavy at this point in time.
They're 64%, I believe, is how much they're running the ball.
It's quite insane, to be honest with you. So Chris Carson, 4,400.
Lock it up.
I
like that as well.
What do you got? You want to go straight to quarterbacks, or you want to talk about your other?
Let's go to quarterbacks. I did something a little different this week.
Different.
I just did
Why
the people I like.
People that you like?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I didn't even look at prices.
You just went people
I just
that
went,
I like.
I just went with people I like.
I took 4 of the top people. I didn't take anybody else. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I want to be right, so I just took the 4 top guys.
Who do you like?
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, everybody likes Matt Ryan.
I know, but
there should be a show called "Everybody Likes Matt Ryan."
A segment. Everybody likes Matt Ryan.
Give me some stuff on that.
Highest scoring game.
Yes.
Projection in the main slate. The Chiefs Pat game is actually more. It's like 60 points.
Yeah, it's insane.
Ridiculous. With 30-point team total implied.
Yeah.
He has been horrible in both games with Devonta Freeman. First week and the last week. So I think without Freeman,
there's one more thing that also first and the week before.
Yeah, I'm coming to that too. Freeman's missed practice Wednesday and Thursday, so if he's out, I think that boosts him.
Right.
Also, we might be having a slight Drew Brees, Big Ben situation going on here, where he's putting up 35 points at home in a dome only.
Yeah.
It's so weird that these guys can only play at home.
I know, dude.
Professionals, they can only play good half the time.
2 games away has been averaging 265 yards passing and less than 1 TD because he's only had 1 TD.
So this one's at home.
Yeah.
And no Devonta Freeman, most likely. He's looking doubtful. So I like him a lot this week. The Bucs are giving up 358 passing yards a game, 33.3 points a game, 77% completion rate, and 3.3 touchdowns per game.
It's going to be all day.
They're allowing QBs 32.1 DraftKings points per game. Those are all like the worst in the league.
It's insane.
So Matt Ryan, surefire, pay up for him. He's going to go bananas. So just go ahead and do it.
So throwing it to you, what do you think his fantasy points? How many fantasy points do you think he gets this week?
I think he gets 35.
35, okay. Yeah. 35 is a solid game.
Yeah, I think he does it. I think he does it because without Devonta Freeman in there, they tend to. I don't know, 353. How much is that?
350 and 3.
It'd be 12 and 2, 14, 17 and 4 would be 31. So maybe 4 T's in. Yeah. Oh, plus the 3. Oh no, I don't know.
3 little bonus.
Yeah, whatever.
But anyways,
something like that.
Yeah, just don't know. Go ahead.
Numbers, math.
Numbers.
Crazy. And then Andy Dalton.
No, hate Andy Dalton. He's on my hate list.
He's going against Steelers defense.
He's on my hate list.
Extremely poor against the quarterbacks.
Extremely poor.
Allowing an average of 28.2 DraftKings points.
I agree.
Second highest in the league.
Yes.
They're also allowing at least 305 passing yards in 4 of their 5 games.
Yes.
Pittsburgh's defense is actually very good against the run, so I feel like they're going to try to run the ball. It's not going to work. In the last game, they held Atlanta Falcons running backs to a lowly 52 rushing yards and only 1 touchdown. On the season, opposing running backs have averaged just 88 combined yards per game. So I think Dalton's going to have to throw the ball. Pittsburgh's going to score. We know that. So I think Andy Dalton's going to have to throw the ball a whole bunch to keep them in that game. And also like Jared Goff, for obvious reasons, going to put up a bunch of numbers. And he's only 6,000. Yeah. And Jameson Winston is a little bit sketchier, but I think it's going to be good.
You said you didn't look at price range. You just mentioned.
Because everywhere was looking, they were saying that his price keeps dropping, even though he's averaging like 350 yards per game, which is ridiculous. So
So
maybe a good pivot to Jared.
So why I don't like Dalton? So when you go Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, they have bad blood, and you can throw any season stats out the wazoo. Last year,
out the wazoo,
out the wazoo,
out the window,
out the wazoo, whatever, out the window.
Out the wazoo sounds more like it's more intense instead of like just throwing out the window.
You can throw it out the window. It doesn't matter what. So last year, Andy Dalton.
But out the wazoo is like, oh, he's scoring out the wazoo.
That's true. I don't know. Okay, throw out the window.
You blew it.
Whatever you want to say.
You blew it. Our listeners are clicking on Andy Dalton now.
Click off Andy Dalton. He last 2 games last year, one in Cincinnati, one in Pittsburgh.
They were horrible last year.
Horrible. But they're both terrible. But
their offense is completely new this year.
What is different between their offense this year and from last year?
Offensive coordinator started a whole new system.
Okay, give me a break.
They look so much better this year. They're potentially their best team in their entire division.
Same players.
I know, but it's entire new team
and they just
offensive coordinator, entirely new system.
I don't know.
Entirely new offense.
I don't think he has a good game.
Fair enough.
I'm off Andy Dalton. I don't like Andy Dalton.
He doesn't like to step up big whenever we're expecting a bunch from him.
Just
kind of like the Eli Manning effect.
Yeah.
Whenever we're like, oh my God, you're in a surefire smash spot, and he goes like 10 for 35 and 100 yards.
Eli Manning he's a strange cat. I don't know what to think.
He's an alien.
What?
He said he's a cat living in a human body. So
man, I gotta watch my words, man.
You are being recorded.
Twisted, man. Be getting twisted.
Are you recording me? Yes, I am recording you.
Anyway, I think honestly, this is a run game. I think Joe Mixon is going to be running the ball.
They can't run against Pittsburgh. I just told you that.
Who can't run against Pittsburgh?
Any team in the NFL.
They're going to be fine. It's going to be more
88
volume.
Combined yards
it's
per
going to
game.
be more volume running.
So what?
Than
20
any other kind of running.
20 carries for 80 yards and a catch for 8 yards. That's good enough for you?
So no, he's going to have 20. He's going to have about 25 touches is what my guess is.
Fair enough.
I don't know. That's
even when they're losing.
That's my guess.
21-0 at halftime.
Who's going to be losing? You think Pittsburgh scores 21 points on? Wait a minute.
If the Bengals just try to run the ball against Pittsburgh, yeah.
Pittsburgh again last year. Le'Veon Bell was phenomenal against Cincinnati. That's all he did. Big Ben didn't go over 250 yards passing. And where's Big Ben playing this week?
Is he at home?
Is he?
I don't know. I didn't look at it.
Nope.
Damn.
On the road. So what's going to happen?
Damn. Yeah, they're going to run the ball a lot.
Exactly. It's going to be James Conner.
Doesn't matter. I'm going with Matt Ryan.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. Just be cautious of Andy Dalton.
I like Andy Dalton.
Yeah. So I love Matt Ryan.
I still like you, Andy Dalton.
I'm on the same boat as you. I like him.
I know. I'm just locking in Matt Ryan. Not even thinking twice.
Yeah,
he's going to be horrible.
I wouldn't either. I think these 35
Easy
points. I mean, that's quite a lot, but I think 35 points is possible. That's 4 TDs. That's a lot of touchdowns. If Freeman doesn't play, I could see that happening because then they don't have a running game.
They don't. They give Tevin Coleman like 12 carries, and they get Ito. They give him like 8 carries, and that's all they do. That's it for the running game.
And then they when I had Coleman, they freaking put Ito at the goal line to score a goddamn touchdown. I wanted to punch somebody in the freaking face.
Another bastard of the NFL.
Bastard. I know, and he's a tiny guy. He's a small dude. Anyways, the other, since you mentioned some guys, I'm gonna go down to a low tier.
Yeah, I didn't do any sleepers. I've been too successful the last couple of weeks, so I was just like, I'm not doing anymore. I'm not doing anymore. Too much success. People are giving a shit on Instagram, so I'm like, okay, we're done. No more sleepers.
It was on Facebook.
Oh yeah, it was on Facebook.
There was a guy on Facebook that just said, "Oh, it was garbage," and then everything we said came true. So,
it was so funny. As I read that he wrote POS, and as it happened, Robby Anderson caught like a 75-yard touchdown.
It was insane. Yeah, it was garbage.
That was funny.
But 5,100. I know I talked about it last week. He did not perform last week for me. Let me down, but he will perform well this week, and it's Derek Carr going against Seattle. I think, like I said, Seattle's going to try to stop Marshawn Lynch because I think the assumption is Marshawn Lynch is going to get the ball every single time. I think he's going to have a lot of throws of downfield.
I don't think that's the assumption. They said Gruden came out and was like, "I'll throw the ball every time I'm on the 1-yard line.
But okay,
I'm a crazy man."
But Gruden also said that he is depressed that he can't win. So on this last person.
He also said it's really hard to find a good linebacker in the NFL.
Oh yeah, a good pass rusher is what he said.
That's what he said.
And then he gets rid of Khalil Mack. So listen, I'm not listening to anything he's saying. Just like I'm not listening to the Indianapolis Colts manager, general manager, whatever, the owner, whoever the hell said that Mack is going to have the best running back year. What an idiot! The guy's an idiot.
Yeah,
Idiot.
and the Dolphins head coach said that they wanted to lead the league in plays per game at like 75.
Yeah.
I think they're averaging like 29th worst in the league.
Just don't listen to anybody, basically.
Whatever you hear in the NFL, just reverse
don't
it.
listen. So, anyways, I think Derek Carr, Seattle, going against Seattle, of course, Earl Thomas is gone. That's their big play stopper. I think he throws for over 300 and a couple TDs. I think for 5,100, he'll get you anywhere between 20 and 25 points. And maybe that's where you save going, away from Matt Ryan if you just don't have enough money for somebody like Matt Ryan. I mean, it's a big difference, 1,700. So if you need to save somewhere because you love somebody else, that's where
he loves him.
Love it. So running backs. Let's do running backs.
James Conner.
Yeah.
You already talked about they just like to run the ball against Dalton. He's number.
So hold on, you're agreeing with me that they like to run the ball, but then
I just think he's going to do well this game.
I agree. I think he's going to do awesome.
I just think he's going to do well this game. He's RB6 in fantasy numbers per game this year, netting 3 yards after contact, which is huge. Bengals are allowing the 12th most fantasy points for running backs, so it's kind of middle of the road.
Right.
4.69 yards per carry, though. So if they feed him the ball enough, he should get over 100 rushing yards, and he is a decent pass catcher as well. 4 catches for 50 yards is not out of the question.
Right.
They are allowing 157 total yards to the running backs and 4 total touchdowns to the position. So basically almost a touchdown a week to the running back position, so you can pretty much, lock in that he should score.
Is it like a half
like
a lock?
Like, I don't know. I'm not really ready to pull the trigger on that, but I think he's going to have a good game.
Right. Todd Gurley?
Nothing like his. I couldn't even do Todd Gurley. It's too expensive. $10,000.
That's insane. That's like a fifth of your money.
And he's not getting like crazy like
numbers,
yards.
Yeah. So
touchdowns.
Listen to his
20.
numbers.
What was it? 20 carries for 77 yards or something.
So first game 108, second game 42 yards, third game 105, fourth game 83. Last game, 77 on 22 carries.
Yeah.
The only thing that saved him is that he had 3 rushing touchdowns.
He's got like 9 touchdowns through 5 weeks.
It's
which
insane.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
he doesn't have. I mean, he has 9, but it's only 7 rushing. 2 of them are receiving. He is a receiving back. I mean, that's one thing that really moves him up on everybody else. He's kind of like Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley's averaging like 50 yards rushing per game, but yet he's insane. I mean, he's a Thursday.
He's
game,
he's a madman.
He's a Thursday game, so you're not going.
Don't even talk about.
You're not gonna. He's not gonna be on your million maker. But the guy averages, when he can get anywhere from 6 to 14 receptions in week 2. That's insane. Yeah. So it's crazy. Those guys just aren't running the ball as well. That's why Zeke leads the league in
Yeah, because rushing is so old fashioned.
So it's not the in thing to do, man.
It's not, man.
So, anyways, go ahead.
I want to run the ball twice for 0 yards,
That's
like
right.
James White, and then get 10 catches for 77 yards.
And 2 touchdowns.
What a jerk.
Way to ruin everything.
I did write Saquon Barkley down, but that's because I thought he was playing at noon when I wrote this up. Philadelphia is really good at stopping the running back, but they're allowing over 6 receptions per game to the running back. So that kind of talks on what you're talking about. But ignore that because that's tonight, Thursday night.
And I think it's heavy rain in that game.
TJ Yeldon.
Ooh, you like to yell it? I do too.
No Fournette.
He's too expensive now.
No Corey Grant.
$6,400.
Corey Grant's done for the year.
Yep.
Chiefs, destroyed him. $6,400. That is expensive, but I think he's going to get enough volume to make it worth it. Sean Lee should not be back for the Dallas Cowboys. Right. I don't see how he doesn't get enough. Alfred Blue had 19.9 PPR points against Dallas and a 19-16 win. So everything I've read so far is like, it's going to be such a down game. There's no scoring. It doesn't matter. If he gets all the touches, it does not matter. Chris Carson put up 23.4 DraftKings points on them in week 3, so it can be done. If you look at the matchup, it looks like the Cowboys are good against the run, but they've allowed 100 yards rushing to only Seattle, which is okay, but they have allowed the opposing backs to catch 37 of 44 targets.
Yeah, they let a lot of catches go. Now, I like Yeldon.
Oh, and without Fournette, Bortles throws the ball 62% of the time. So that feeds into even more dump-down passes to Yeldon. So I think he's going to be great.
So he shot up 6,400. I mean, he's
had like back-to-back games of over 20 fantasy points.
Yeah, I mean, he's really shot up. Here's my one. I have a question for you. Do you think Jamal has any impact in
None.
Sunday's game? You think zero?
Zero.
They just signed him.
Yeah.
Zero impact. Do you think he has any impact going forward for fantasy viewers for pickup?
If you have TJ Yeldon, maybe, or I mean,
so
Fournette will be back week 10.
Yes.
So I don't think he's gonna make it. I don't think he'll make a big enough impact to be worth anything by week 10. And their bye week is week 9. So
you don't think he's worth
he has
pickup?
3 more weeks to do something.
3 games.
So no.
Okay.
I do not.
Cool. Just shooting it out there. Go ahead.
That's all I really have for running backs. Basically, my strategy for DraftKings is to place Chris Carson in there as my RB2, and then just kind of leave it because there's a lot of questionable injuries going around. One of them was Dalvin Cook, sticking Latavius Murray because he's around the same price range, but we just learned that Cook is going to play.
Yeah, Cook's going to play. He could have a big game. I like Cook.
Another one is Isaiah Crowell. If he misses, shift to Bilal Powell.
Yep. That's good.
Colts are giving up 11th most fantasy points to RBs. They don't have Leonard in the backfield anymore.
Yep.
They just gave up almost 100 rushing yards to Sony Michel and then 10 catches to James White. So if Bilal Powell's the only guy back there, he should have a great game Isaiah Crowell misses time. There's also, they said that Lamar Miller is going to play, but maybe there's a setback. You could look at Alfred Blue. He's right there as well. And then there's another guy down there. Aaron Jones is down there if you're doing Thursday through Monday, stuff like that. So right now I'm just kind of sticking Chris Carson in there because I like him. But if something happens, there's plenty of people down there you can kind of shift to. Yep. And that's basically all I got for running backs.
So
no one I love down there.
Nobody you love. Okay, so running backs, Connor, yes. Love Mixon. I know he's going to be so loan-owned. He's going to be low.
Because he's garbage.
He's going against Pittsburgh, which is ranked 4, but I think he's going to catch a lot of balls out of the backfield. Balls. A lot of balls out of the backfield. Another couple. I do like Yeldon. I don't know if he's, 6,400, I guess. If he gets you over 20,
he'll get you over 20.
He'll catch 8. Another thing is, if Freeman's out, is Coleman a good play?
No.
You don't think he's a good play at all?
They don't use him enough. They go Ito.
Ah, man, I don't know. You don't know who the hell Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan has so many freaking options. It's unbelievable.
I know who he's going to throw to.
Oh, I do too. But
he's in my receivers.
Oh yeah. Well, your prediction last week on Julio was way off.
Well, it's because Julio's a jack.
He's a jack. So also,
he's a bastard of the NFL.
He's not. I love Julio. Hines. Julio. Love Hines.
Naheem.
What?
Naheem.
Yes. So again, no T.Y. Hilton. Again, no Jack Doyle hands. Marlon Mack is who knows if he does play.
Might be a back.
Yeah, he might play for like 1 second and then leave the game again.
Oh, fair enough.
Last 2 weeks, averaging 8 catches per game.
He also ran the ball like 15 times last week.
50 yards and averaging a touchdown per game. This last 2 games that both those guys have been hobbled.
I had Naheem.
He ran 15 yards for 15 times for 45 yards. So he runs the ball as well. They just don't have anybody else back there. So for the money, he's 5,100. Could be a good play as well. And then I had one. I guess Aaron Jones. He plays Monday night, but I love Aaron Jones. If you have anything Aaron Jones, love Aaron Jones. Monday night, stick him in, get it going. It's amazing.
That was a weird, back in that sentence. Stick it in, get it going, and then he whispered, he whispered, "It's amazing."
So I had one more. This is like your Robby Anderson. This is a crazy Hail Mary play, right? On running back.
That was a guarantee. I guaranteed Robby last week.
Okay, but dude, he had 3 catches, so 2 of them went for touchdowns. It's great. Dude, the call was amazing. It was an amazing call. I'm not gonna deny. If you put Robby
Do not deny me.
If you put Robby Anderson and put Kirk as your other receiver for 37 and 3,900, you could have loaded up on all the best players and won.
Yeah, you could have taken Julio and been completely disappointed.
No, why would you take Julio? That was a bad mistake. Not this week. This week is a great call. Anyways, Ronald Jones the second for Tampa Bay. Right, 3,900. Atlanta allows 1.2 million catches to running backs. That's actual stats. That's actual statistics.
That left me speechless. I didn't know what to say.
They are 31st against running backs rushing the ball. They are the worst against running back catching the ball. They let running backs catch the ball all day. Ronald Jones they're saying that they want to fit him in more than Barber because Barber has been just absolute garbage. So if that's the case, he's 3,900. If you just need a streamer and you want to test it out, Ronald Jones is second.
Test the water.
He can catch 5 to 6 balls and
balls.
This guy's crazy. And also, he ran the ball 10 times for 30 yards, so it's 3 yards to carry there. So if he runs the ball 15 times, if they want to get him more in there, get you a rushing touchdown, get 5 catches, 50 yards, and get you receiving touchdowns, perfect game for him. That's insane for 3,900.
That's it. I will agree that is insane.
Insane. By the way, they just said that Marlon Mack had a full practice today.
Yeah, he's back. Marlon Mack is back.
Full practice. So, just FYI. Anyways.
Return of the Mac. I'm going to play that right here.
Out of here. He's also super cheap. So, if you want to just be like, well, screw it.
I'm taking Ronald Jones and
Marlon Mack. And then you win a million.
Lock it up.
Like, wow.
Lock it up.
Don't lock anything up there. All right, wide receivers. This is my favorite. I like everybody.
That's too many people.
I like everybody.
Obviously, I said Julio Jones. This is the reason why, though.
I love Julio Jones.
He took part in practice on Wednesday.
Ooh, what?
Which marks his first of the season. Last
That's
episode, we stated if Julio would just practice during the week, he could catch a touchdown. So congratulations, Julio, on your future touchdown. That boy Julio.
That is awesome.
Keenan Allen, I stuck him in there. A lot of slot receivers are having some success against Cleveland. I already talked about Emmanuel Sanders. Love him. Kiki Cutie, I think he's going to be just fine this weekend.
Kiki?
I don't think he's going to go ham.
Who's on Kiki?
Kiki Cutie?
Kiki?
No, I don't love you. Will Fuller is still kind of banged up with that.
Are you riding?
With that hamstring? It kind of works out perfectly because Tre'Davious White will be on DeAndre Hopkins. A lot of non-number one receivers are kind of going off against the Bills. Okay. He's had 22 targets in the last 2 weeks, which we always like. Will Fuller has always been banged up, so I think Kiki could have a good week. Another one of my almost lock-it-ups was Mohamed Sanu, actually.
Woo!
I'm pivoting off of Julio this weekend.
Really?
He's going. Here we go.
Sanu. Okay.
Mohamed Sanu. He's going against MJ Stewart, who plays 90% of his snaps in the slot. He's allowing the most fantasy points per game to slot receivers in the league. Sanu plays 75% of his snaps in the slot, and he should be a cheap way to get exposure to this game without having to pay up for Julio. MJ Stewart has allowed Taylor Gabriel to go ham in that Chicago game.
Yeah.
He allowed Juju Smith-Schuster.
Everybody went ham.
He allowed Juju Smith-Schuster for 9 catches for 116 yards in week 3, and he allowed Aguilar to go off for 88 and 1 in week 2. So this guy's just getting blown up by slot guys. So I think Mohamed Sanu is going to go bananas. He's my lock it. He's another one of my lock it ups, guys.
Another one. Good.
Keep locking people up.
That's a lot of lock.
My last lock it up.
You have another one?
Tyler Boyd.
Oh my God! Boyd had a horrible week last week.
I know. I said he would.
I know.
I said he would.
Yeah,
if you listen, you knew not to play him.
Yeah.
I didn't play him in our friends league either. He has a great matchup against Pittsburgh. He's been on fire this year. 20-plus fantasy points. Just keeps ripping them off. Last week, I told you he's going to have a down week against Mika Fitzpatrick. Also, Cincinnati scored 2 defensive touchdowns, so that's not going to help anybody's production on offense. He gets the mother of all matchups going against Pittsburgh's Mike Holton, who is the 100% slot corner. He plays slot the entire game. He's allowing the second most fantasy points to slot receivers, and Boyd plays almost 70% of his snaps through the slot. Another boost to Boyd comes the fact that Hayden for Pittsburgh, not known to shadowed Julio last week, shut him down.
So you think he's going to shadow?
So
AJ?
I guarantee you he's going to shadow AJ Green because he had such a good success last weekend. Sanu was the only receiver that had any success against Pittsburgh last week. And so he was going against Mike Hilton. So look for Tyler Boyd for another 20-plus fantasy points. Easy. Tyler Boyd, another lock it up, boy.
For you.
It's easy, man.
Oh my God! If you hit on all of them, that'd be
the
amazing.
Wide receivers are crazy this week, man.
It is crazy. I love, I love everybody. I don't know, Antonio Brown.
Eli. Everybody love everybody.
Everybody love everybody.
I got to bring up here too.
So,
says Eli.
I love Julio. He's gonna. So prediction for Julio: 10, 150, 2 TDs, 2 touchdowns. He's gonna get you insane amount of points.
That's fine, except for it's going to be all Sanu.
No, it's going to be Julio. Sanu might get in the end zone. I don't doubt Sanu getting in the end zone, but Julio 10 for 150 for 2 T's. I like Mike Evans going against Atlanta. Atlanta basically just lets whoever just run all over him. They don't care. Throw all over him, run all over him. They can't stop anything. Number one receiver, Antonio Brown, last week went for 6'4", 101, and 2 TDs against them. Mike Evans is not as fast as Antonio Brown, but he's a monster. He's huge. He has.
You love letting monsters out on the field.
I like monsters.
He's a monster out
but
there.
Again, they're expensive. These guys are pricey. Julio is $7,900. Mike Evans is $8,100. So
just ignore all those guys and take Kings lock-it-ups.
I like Juju Smith-Schuster going against Cincinnati. He had a down week. I think Cincinnati is going to try to lock down Antonio Brown. I don't think they'll be successful because really.
So you say they're only going to run the ball. It's an away game for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's going to be all James Conner, and yet Juju's going to do good?
I think Juju does good. Juju has, again, I think he goes 100 yards. I think Juju outdoes.
It's been a while. I think he needs to.
He first 3 games he had over 100. Last 2 games he had.
Yeah, he needs to go off again. I like Juju.
Yeah, he's going to have 5 to 9 catches for over 100 yards.
I think he's more fun to watch than Antonio.
Oh man, I like Antonio.
I like Juju.
Juju's not bad. There's this one guy, Emmanuel Sanders. I was going to talk about 6,700, but I don't love that guy.
He's a lock.
He's kind of like
don't even think twice about it.
Tyler Boyd. I also liked Tyler Boyd. He was one of the guys that I did like. I mentioned 2 cheaper guys, which we talked about earlier. Actually, Ryan Grant and
Chester.
Chester Rogers. Both. Have a chance to have big games.
Just lock in Chester. Don't even.
Chester, as I'm pretty sure you mentioned, he 11 targets last week, 11 targets the week before that.
22 and 2.
Yeah, it's insane.
And the key thing for that is nothing is changing.
Nothing is changing.
Nobody's coming back.
No.
It's the same exact offense that will be out there.
The one thing that is changing is
Mac is back.
Well, the Mac attack is back. And also, they were playing from way behind. New England was up like 24-0 like this. So they were really forced to throw the ball nonstop. But that's what they do anyways.
The Jets offense has been clicking last game. They got Robby Anderson kind of back. The Colts are missing Leonard. They should be able to do what they want.
Colts with the upset.
I think they should be able to do what they want.
Again, but I like both those guys. They're cheaper guys that I think that will do good. And then also, I like Amari Cooper, 5,100. I think he has another bounce back game. He's been so weird. So like,
that's what he did last year.
Yeah, one game. So
he put up 40 points one game.
24.6 fantasy points. Okay, 3.7, 29.8. 2 points.
The definition of consistency.
So
he did last year.
Yeah, so he's due this week to have another 100-yard game. So he'll have 9 catches for 120 and a touchdown.
9 catches, wow. So that's a lot for him.
Touchdown. It's not, because the week before that he had 8. The other week he had 10. So
okay, wow. Perfect. I didn't know he caught that many.
9 is perfect. So, anyways, that's wide receivers.
So you're gonna go with the Derek?
Giving like a $3,000 receiver that people can take.
No, I didn't do any sleep. I didn't do any deep sleepers because these 4 receivers I gave you, the 4 I gave you: Emmanuel Sanders, Chester Rogers, Mohamed Sanu, Tyler Boyd. Lock it up, stick them in there, put Matt Ryan in your QB slot, and then figure out the rest because it's money in the bank. It's gonna be great.
So, okay, here's one. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm just gonna because you hit. I have to. I hit
trying to take
Kirk,
a shot.
So I hit it with Kirk. I'm gonna try to take one more shot.
Take a shot.
Callaway for Cleveland.
God, that guy. It doesn't matter if he gets 10 targets. He can't catch the ball.
I know the Clippers' number 1 corner is. Oh my God, he's ranked like 4th overall best corners in NFL. And
what's
he's
his
gonna
face?
Be on Landry. My assumption he's going to shadow Landry. That's what they've said. Landry does move everywhere. Landry goes in the backfield to catch passes, but that means Callaway is going to be out there. The Chargers are 24th against wide receivers with a number 1 corner. So somebody else is going to have to catch the ball. Could be could be out of the backfield. But look, for 4,000, Callaway. Man,
yeah, I heard about
he could have that
him maybe, but he just is so bad.
I know, but okay, so he said 3, 4, 3, 3. That's how many receptions.
But look at his targets because he can't catch the ball. It's not like
11?
It's not like Deshaun Watson where he just overthrows you because he's just chucking the ball to you. It's hitting him in the hands. He just can't catch it.
But maybe this is the game. Look,
he's got a case of the dropsies.
Okay, like I'm doing. It's a dart throw. It's a dart throw. Okay.
Oh.
Dart throw. 4,000. I'm
play.
not saying he's a Robby
I thought
Anderson.
you were
or
guaranteeing me something here.
You know what? I guarantee it. Lock it up.
Do not lock it up. Anybody listening to this, just
Callaway.
turn it off.
Callaway, do it. If you need a cheap receiver, let's go for it. Go for it.
I got tight ends,
Okay,
but
let's do it.
I didn't like anybody.
You didn't like anybody at
No,
tight ends.
it's so depressing because the rest of my lineup is so good, and then I get the tight end. I can't trust any of these people.
Oh my god,
None of them. What do you
yeah.
mean these people? Tight ends. Austin Hooper, I put him in there.
What about Brate? You don't like Brate against Atlanta?
I mean, I kind of do, but the OJ Howard thing kind of sneaking in there. I can't trust it now. Maybe come Sunday and it's like OJ Howard's out.
I'll tell. Do you have any? Because I have two. I
have two. I put in Austin Hooper.
Okay.
Hooper did well. I don't think he's a safe play by any means because he's so up and down. But Tampa Bay,
not enough touchdowns to go around with
Tampa Bay
with Julio and Sanu. There's not enough touchdowns.
He's gonna throw 4.
Oh, so Sanu only gets 1?
Sanu can get 2.
Oh,
Julio can get 3. Sanu can throw it.
Oh, Sanu can throw it.
Sanu can throw. He actually can throw. He did that last year. He's good at throwing.
Okay.
Well, we might see that.
All right.
I'm out. Lock it up. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't do that.
Austin Hooper. Tampa Bay is allowing at least 16 DraftKings points to tight ends 3 out of the 4 games. And the only game that they didn't was against New Orleans. And New Orleans doesn't throw to the tight end anymore since they got rid of Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
So they're allowing the points to tight ends. If he was going to have a good game, this would be it. But he's nowhere near a lock it up. And I'm really trying to find a good lock it up for the tight end position. CJ Uzomah.
That's it.
He gets about as close.
That's my lock it up.
He's about as close to a lock it up as you can get.
For tight end, he's the lock it up for tight end.
Steelers are ranked 25th against the DVOA. 25th against the past DVOA against tight ends, allowing 10.7 targets and 83 receiving yards per game, which is second most and the second most DraftKings points. He saw 92% of the snaps. Tyler Kroft's walking around in the boot.
Yep.
The production wasn't
non-participant in Thursday's practice.
Okay, cool.
Kroft.
The production wasn't great last week, but like I said before, Cincinnati scored twice on defense. So the matchup against the Steelers is great. The Bengals are scoring an average of 30.6 points a game. Their offense is on fire. He's only $3,000 in price. Should be a high-scoring game. CJ should be good. I like him.
So Uzomah, yes. Love Uzomah. Another guy that's super cheap that I do like is Hurst for Baltimore.
Yeah, he came back.
And
made his debut.
And the offensive coordinator is saying that he is.
Well, you said never trust anyone ever.
I know, but if he says he's in love with them, I'm thinking that he's
maybe they should get go on a date or something. It doesn't mean he's going to do well this weekend.
So he only caught 1 pass, but he played 21. The
offensive coordinator told me he's in love with him.
He catches a touchdown and then he proposes to him.
A celebration! I like that.
But I like 2,700. So I like Hurst. I love Uzomah. Love Uzomah for 3,000. He's the only guy there.
He is.
So
and he's the matchup against Steelers. Literally could not get better. I don't know.
Yeah. So another one.
I still don't feel like it's a lock it up.
This is like
he's just scrolling to the bottom of the tight ends and just
sleeper. We had this guy on our team last year. Dude, a tight end.
I just caught a fly.
That's crazy.
That was weird.
Wow. Did you have chopsticks while you did it?
Yeah.
Who was our tight end last year?
Whose?
Jackson.
Oh, ASJ?
No, who was our tight end?
We don't have I don't have a team. Chiefs. I don't have a physical NFL team. I don't know who you're talking about.
O'Shaq Hennessy.
Oh.
Go to O'Shaq Hennessy's office. Come on, man.
Fair enough.
Hey, Aaron. O'Shaq Hennessy. He was the tight end. So Jacksonville, ASG out.
Oh.
On IR season.
Oh, okay, cool.
Gone. They don't have a tight end. O'Shaq Hennessy is the tight end up there. But they list O'Shaq Hennessy as the number 1 tight end. But Niles Paul last week, 7 catches for 65 yards.
That's a sleeper.
Yeah, 7 catches for 65 yards. But they're listed as O'Shaq Hennessy as the number 1 guy. So
that's Jacksonville.
Correct. Both 2,600. Both going against Dallas, which is mid-tier. They're about 15th.
How many catches did you say you had?
Who? Niles Paul?
Yeah.
7.
Last week. Was that game? I don't remember seeing that.
Well, because it was in a blowout and you weren't paying attention to what was happening.
I don't know. I guess that must have been at the very end. I don't remember seeing him catch that many balls.
You're not going to see it sprinkle here and there. ASG
That's
is
weird.
out early. So
I guess I didn't notice that.
Yeah, 7 for 65. So, one of those guys, it would be a coin flip. Oshak starting. Nas Paul is not starting, but he had the better game last week. So, yeah, either one of those guys as a cheap option for tight end. I mean, I love a couple tight ends, but none of them are playing in the main slate. So it kind of sucks.
Yeah, you look at the main slate, you just can't find it. It's hard to find anybody.
I love Jimmy Graham Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, he should catch a touchdown. So
11 targets last week. It's insane.
Should be good.
It's gonna be good. Okay, that's about it for tight ends. Do we have anything else? Defenses. I know. Okay, so I've been 2 for 2.
I've just stuck the Bears in there.
2 for 2.
I didn't even think about it. Put the Bears in.
Green Bay going against San Francisco.
You can't do that.
Why?
It's Monday night.
God damn
You're horrible at this game.
They are.
I want Aaron Rodgers. I want Aaron Jones. I want Jimmy Graham.
So another one for cheap. There's 2 defenses I like cheap. One cheap. One again I can't do because he's they're Thursday, but the other one is Indianapolis Colts versus the Jets. I see that front getting at least 4 or 5 sacks. Their defensive line has been so much improved, and I think he might throw. I think Sam Darnold might throw a couple picks as well. So look for Indianapolis Colts to beat the Jets outright, and their defense being the biggest reason why. So.
I just went with the Bears. Just put the Bears in there.
The Bears have been on fire.
Don't think twice. It's against Miami. Miami's been shitting down their pants the last couple
17,
games.
13, 14. What's going on?
I don't know.
It's like they have a new pass rusher. That's like
I don't know.
It's crazy.
Return of the Mac or something.
That's that. You got anything else, King?
That's it.
I don't
have anything else.
It's over.
I know I'm the greatest.
That's it. Hey, hopefully we have some good news for you next week as well. So I'll talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Yeah.
And that's going to wrap things up here at the Best Fantasy Football Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Best Fantasy Football Podcast for constant updates, funny memes, and all the info that you can handle. Now somebody cue that really funky, really cool new jam for the outro.